Hi, my name is Joshua from Tag. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we would learn some more operations we can do using list in R. So let's get started. So here is a R Studio platform. So I will just create an example of a list. So let's call this list1, and then let's say we have an understanding of what list is all about now. So let's say list, and then we have a vector 1, 2, 3, and then the next we want it to be Joshua, as we've done before. So I will store this, and then let's have like a revision of what we did in the last video. If I print out list1, you see the result on the console as the vector and the character Joshua. So it is possible you index, so we say list1. If you're interested in seeing Joshua alone, you use the double square bracket 2, and then you run it, so you have Joshua alone. So what we are doing right now is like some other operations we can do using list in R. So I also want to tell us that it is possible to have a list inside a list. So for instance, I'm creating another object called list2 like this, and then is a list object, and I'm having like true, a logical statement in it, true, and then I'm having a vector that has names of people, James and John, and so I'm also having that list inside it, which is list1. So this is possible, and so when I run list2, if I print out list2, you see we have all these inside it. So because we have a list inside a list, this is the reason why we see list sometimes as a recursive vector. Because of this ability to have a list inside a list, we see it as a recursive vector, and not like the 6 classes of atomic vectors I took us through. So sometimes we can also call list a recursive vector. So with this list2 now, if I am to index what I have in the third position, is going to be the result of the list 1. So if I say list 2, and I use my double square bracket, and I'm putting 3, so look at what will happen. So I will have the result of the first list I created. So if I am interested in seeing what I have, like the first one, which is the vector I have in this list that I have inside list 2, all I need to do is to again put a bracket and then say 1. If I run this, I just have that vector, which is the first element in this list 1 that I've actually combined together with the list function into a variable called list2. So this is actually a possibility. So let's say I'm creating another list again, and I'm calling this list3 this way, and then this is a list, and it's a combination of let's say a complex number 2 plus 3i, and then let me space down so we can see clearly, and then I say comma, I'm putting a vector again, I'm saying, oh, let me use a matrix, and then I'm saying matrix, I'm saying use 1 to 4 like a square matrix we did the other time. So matrix, square matrix 2 by 2, and so run this. So list 3 is there, so I can easily, you can highlight a part of the code and press Ctrl Enter, so it brings it out. This is it, the complex number as the first object and the matrix as the second object. So if you want to merge, it is possible. Merging a list or combining a list. So to do this, you are still going to use the vector function. Don't forget, I told you most times you see list as a recursive vector. So I can say combined comb list. So I'm trying to like combine this list 1 that has just vector of number 1, 2, 3 and Joshua with the new list I just created, which has the complex number and a matrix. So what I'm going to do is to say C the vector function and say list 1, and then separated by comma, then I put list 3. So when I run this, I can print the combined list comb underscore list, and then it gives me the combination of everything. You see, this is the elements we have in a list 1, that's list 1, and this is the element we have in list 3. So these are things that are possible. So one other thing again that we can do, and again if you're interested in indexing now this particular combined list, so let's say you want to get the last object, which is the matrix object. So if you run this, you have the matrix alone, so it is like possible for you to also merge list together. So one other thing again that we will learn is, just as we can create a list, we can unlist a list. So when we are unlisting a list, what we are doing is that we are taking it from a list, we are taking it back to a vector. So let's just use this as an instance. Let's use list 1 as an instance. If I check, for instance, let's use, there is a function, I can say is a list, is list, and then I say list 1. Let's see what this function does. So if it is a list, it tells us that, oh, this is true, it's a list. So if I create a vector, for instance, and I just say C 0, 1, 2, and I run this, and I have it at the level of values. So if I say is a list, is list, and I say vec, this is false because this is not a list. It printed out true for line 17 because list 1 is a list. So what we are trying to do is to unlist list 1, which is a list object. So when we are unlisting, we are taking it back from list. We are taking it from list to a vector. So if I say unlist with a function from the base package, and then I say list 1, and I run it, look at what happens on the console. So it turns everything now to a character, because in the list we have been able to like combine together. If you check list 1, we have been able to, let me run list 1 so you can see. In list 1, we've been able to combine both this vector and the character together, and they both retain their classes. But now, don't forget, a vector will only store objects of the same class. So if we unlist them, that means we're taking them back to a vector. So eventually, everything will just have to be in the class of a character. So you are seeing this on the console and it's not appearing on the global environment. This is because we are yet to store it in a variable. So if you want to see the result, you can say vec1 and then you run it. So if you check the global environment, you will see that everything has now been turned to a character. So let's just have like a simple play. So I can say vec1, and then I can remove what I have in the 4th position and then reassign it as vec1. So it turns to 3, and then I want to turn everything to numeric, so I can say vec1. Again, I am still giving it like reassigning. I'm overwriting, so I'm saying vec1, and I'm saying as numeric. So I'm turning it to numeric, and then I say vec1, the old vec1. So if you check, the class is back to numeric. So these are some of the things you can do with list in R. and I want to believe we've gained something. And I want to encourage us to keep following, like, step by step, as I'm taking us up in this journey. So when we get to an advanced level, this whole thing will become very easy. That is the goal. So once again, thank you for choosing to learn R with me, and I pray God bless you. So do have a great day. Bye bye. Ciao.